Continuing from the previous episode 1920. The latest website. Boom. Xiaoyan's body lightly touched the small gap, and his entire body was involuntarily sucked into it, like an unusually hideous devil's cave, trembling frantically, absorbing Xiaoyan's body and leaning inward. The extreme suction left Xiaoyan helpless and could only forcibly endure the invasion of this terrifying force, so he went to the demon suppression prison. Peefed. In just a few breaths, Xiaoyan's body entered the 8th-ranked cage of water and fire through the gap. Terret. Just after entering here, Xiaoyan's body was suspended in the sky, looking at this evil space. An overwhelming evil aura, like a tide, completely filled the entire void. And in that evil aura, there is even a trace of extremely hot and cold aura. The place where Xiaoyan is now is probably the edge of the demon suppression prison. There is no life here. There are only monstrous evil spirits of dark power. At this time, Xiaoyan stood at the bottom of the sky, and the evil auras slowly entangled together, slowly forming a series of rather ferocious and evil ghosts. 1 head and 2 heads. They quietly crawl on the barren ground, constantly nibbling away the only bones left on the ground, and even the attractive black luster on the professional ghost, revealing some kind of seductive spirit. Terrorist force. What a strange cage of water, fire and evil. Xiaoyan raised his brows and spread out his soul power. He tried to find the aura of the 10,000 Demon King by means of this method. It is impossible to move an inch, as if it was solidified and fixed on the void by countless evil breaths, unable to move. Kacha! With a sound, it seemed that Xiaoyan's figure had been discovered. Among the many shadows below, a giant python with demonic energy rose into the air. The invisible and colorless soul power released by Xiaoyan devoured it, and immediately walked around, preparing to escape. Die! Seeing this sudden scene, Xiaoyan raised his palm, and a scorching flame appeared, and then easily wrapped around the devilish giant python, which was instantly evaporated into dust and dissipated in the void. As expected, it is the devil suppression prison that can be ranked 8th. In this kind of scene, if the strength is not enough for the 7-star fighting immortals, I am afraid that I will be buried here. Seeing this, Xiaoyan shook his head powerlessly. On this barren land, he did not know. There are so many bones and ghosts, they are quietly lurking. Once there is an intruder, they will emerge when the intruder is lost and devour it. The huge amount contained in this demon suppression prison is far beyond Xiaoyan's imagination, and the evil aura is definitely not something he can slaughter. However, Xiaoyan was a little puzzled, because every time he used the demonic power in his body, he would use up the power of the demonic cube to avoid being attacked. If the demonic cube could absorb the power of evil, the demon suppression prison would be filled with demons by Xiaoyan in the future. Best place for Rubik's Cube. I came out to work. After sighing, his voice raised a sibilant, and Xiaoyan snorted coldly. Hey, what are you doing? Startled by Xiaoyan's voice, the guinea pig appearance transformed by the spirit of the demon book was directly repelled from Xiaoyan's body, entrenched in the air, and the guinea pig looked down. The dense black the shadow composed of liquid makes him feel disgusted. Help me find the myriad demon king, Xiaoyan said softly. As he spoke, an amber-colored holy flame emerged from his body, staring at the many evil ghosts below. You look down on me too much, I'm just a little demon spirit, the guinea pig said with dissatisfaction. If that's the case, then it's useless for me to keep you. Let's go. A sneer suddenly appeared on Xiaoyan's face, and he immediately grabbed the mouse's tail and flicked it gently. Place to throw away. The dense density of the dense black pressure. I am afraid that it will be completely swallowed up in an instant and become bloody. Ah! Don't! I'm looking for it, don't! Hearing the words, the little white rat shook violently and roared. It has no power in itself. If it is thrown down by Xiaoyan like this, it will only die. That's not right. Xiaoyan's sneer turned into a soft smile after listening to the mouse's opening, and his body appeared below where it fell, and caught the ladder with one hand. You're a bad guy. Okay, don't talk nonsense. Xiaoyan rolled his eyes and said, if it wasn't for his soul power being damaged, in order to hide the aura of holy flame, Xiaoyan would not let this guy take action. Wang hum. With a sound, a superpower that surpassed the sky and the earth emerged from the little white mouse, and along with it, there were also the demon books that flashed countless strange demons. It seemed that there was something between the two. A special connection. Wang Om! An unusually dazzling green arc of light flashed above the sky, as if illuminating this barren land. Suddenly, countless ghosts below suddenly became restless. The insatiable greed of the show is no doubt. Go away. Just when these ghosts came to the mouse's body 100 meters, a cold roar, with a touch of Holy Flame's exclusive power, swept out. Boom! Attacked by such a violent roar, some of the weak shadows were shattered directly by it, and the remaining shadows also looked at each other for a while, and after hesitation, they hibernated quietly. I found their location. After Shun breathed, the little white mouse muttered with strange eyes, obviously because of Xiao Yan's previous calculations. He was dissatisfied. Huh, what is this? Before Xiao Yan could speak, a white feather slowly flickered on the demon book of the guinea pig, apparently collected by the demon book. On the feathers, it is extremely white, and even contains a touch of divine aura, but at this time, there is a faint trace of blood on the white feathers, which seems to be from a guy who was seriously injured. Fell off. This is the angel wings of the demon of light? What the asterisk is going on here? At this moment, Feather was just in the palm of his hand, and a sense of familiarity emerged from Xiao Yan's heart, and even an extremely horrified expression filled Xiao Yan's face. The breath of the demon of light, Xiao Yan was already very clear and familiar with it when he was in Li Soul territory. How could he find her angel wings in the water, fire and evil cage to suppress the devil now? Does this mean that the demon of light is in the demon suppression prison at this time? Maybe the demon of light has been here? Various questions plagued Xiao Yan. It seems that this time, there is a good show to watch. Let's go, I'll take you to, but I'll tell you clearly, there are terrifying guys who touch reincarnation, and there are even more terrifying things than the two white kings, but that kind of powerhouse is beyond I know. The guinea pig said slightly. It was originally the spirit of the demon book, and the demon book in the demon world is like a book of heaven that knows all things. As for this guy, although he has no fighting power, he is like a prophet and knows many things in the demon world. Do you touch samsara? Is it even more powerful than the two white kings? Hearing this, Xiao Yan couldn't help but clench his fists. The devil's cube in his body was also affected by it, and it became surging, a proud monstrosity. Breath, diffuse out. Go! With a roar, the two of them went towards the depths of the demon suppression prison at the same time. At this moment, the always quiet demon suppression prison became lively because of the arrival of the demon king of 10,000 demons, Xiao Yan and others. And in the depths of the town demon prison, there are also uninvited guests. These guys are like soul palaces. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1921. The latest website, what an evil place. In the cage of water, fire and evil, the three demon kings, the king of 10,000 demons, carried 2 leaders of the guards who had fallen into a coma, and walked slowly in it. The purpose was naturally to avoid the blood demons. King's pursuit. Even if there are 3 of them, but now all 3 are seriously injured, the 3 of them are not necessarily the opponents of the blood demon king, let alone protect the 2 leaders of the guards who fell into a coma. These 2 guys are also seriously injured. I hope nothing happens. The rhinoceros demon king said helplessly, as if relying on instinct. He clearly noticed that the life breath of the 2 guards leaders had slowly passed. It's just that none of the 3 of them can heal, and they didn't even carry the healing medicine, so they could only temporarily solve the blood demon king, thinking of other ways. I'll stop the blood demon king in a while, you take them out of here early. The rest is up to you. This is also our last hope. After Shunshi, the Wan Yaowing said to the 2 of them, and there was a trace of calm relief in his voice. Don't say such depressing words. The Earth Rhinoceros Demon King tried to comfort him. Boom! In an instant, the entire gloomy and evil corner of the demon suppression prison was suddenly violent, and countless evil auras fell from the sky like raindrops. At this time, a sturdy man with scarlet eyes and scarlet blood surrounded by aura, the corner of his mouth. He stared at them with a frenzied smile on his face. That kind of feeling is like being watched by the asterisk of death. He's still here. Well, here it is. Let us join forces once, since the demon world fought apart, but we haven't joined forces to fight against the enemy for a long time. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay. The 10,000 Demon King and the 10,000 Flower Demon King talked at the same time. After speaking, the 2 suddenly shook their bodies, and handed one of the unconscious leaders into the hands of the Earth Rhinoceros Demon King. The dark green light swept out of the sky, and the countless evil forces around him were shaken back hundreds of miles. Run! Why didn't you run? The Blood Demon King stood above the void, looking at the two Demon Kings who came to die in front of him, his voice extremely ferocious. It's okay to be your cemetery here. Do you think so? Wan Yaowing said coldly, with a monstrous killing intent in his voice. Blood River Giant Ape, seeing the little tricks of the two in front of him, the Blood Demon King disapproved and roared. The *** aura all over his body vented out, and in an instant he formed an extremely ferocious and terrifying huge creature in front of him. That's an ape. The ape's body was surrounded by countless ** dark red bloodstains, his eyes flickered with a strong bloodthirsty smell, and his fists were filled with an extremely terrifying depression. Obviously, both defensive and offensive power were extremely tyrannical. Wanhua Demon Fruit. Seeing this, the Wanhua Demon King didn't take it lightly. The slender jade hand stretched out, bursting out with green breaths full of vitality, and immediately formed a green forest area around the two. The strong breath of life greatly improved the injuries on the two of them. At the same time, a bunch of vines with tyrannical vitality was wrapped up to form a green fruit with a size of dozens of meters. It appeared behind the two of them, as if the fruit contained some kind of mysterious creature. 10,000 Demon Puppets. Seeing this, the 10,000 Demon King smiled with relief, and immediately waved his sleeves, and a figure exactly like himself swept away at the Blood Demon King. Bang bang bang. Seeing this, the Blood Demon King clenched his fists, raised his hands, and slammed away with punches and kicks. Hey! Rao was so terrified by the Blood Demon King's melee combat. This puppet didn't have any scars on its body. It still launched a terrifying attack on it. For the sharpest attack, every move turned out to be vaguely restraining the Blood Demon King. Go away. It seemed that he was provoked by this puppet, and the demonic energy spread from the Blood Demon King's body, knocking him back in one fell swoop. Boom! With a sound, the eyes of the fierce ape in front of him erupted with awe-inspiring violence, then he pulled up his footsteps and stomped towards the ladder. Go away! Myriad Demons' mysterious soul palm. Seeing such a terrifying footstep, the 10,000 Demon King gently pushed the delicate body of the 10,000 Flower Demon King, and immediately a bright green light flashed on his palm. A jump, the palm and the ** kick hit together in an instant. Boom! A wave of terrifying energy ripples spread out from the place where the two were fighting, and with this level of attack, the entire Demon Suppression Prison trembled slightly, as if the Demon Suppression Prison was deep. The two White Kings were also aware of it, but at this time they were bound by countless restrictions and could not move. Sir, are we just waiting? At this moment, under a barren land below, a mighty team stayed here quietly, watching the appalling battle above the sky, and couldn't help muttering. Hee, what's the hurry? The good show is still over. The leader smiled grimly, and immediately took off the hat on top of the black robe. Shu Shao. This guy is actually the long-disappeared Wangtang Hall Master of the Soul Palace. Hall Master, what is our purpose? Seeing Shu Shao's actions like this, a group of strong people around him couldn't help but ask. There are about 20 strong people around, many of them are strong in the Soul Hall, and there are also monsters and monsters, but without exception, they are all at the level of 7-star fighting immortals. Don't worry, our purpose is not just the two White Kings. The deepest Red King's palace, our palace master, has been coveted for a long time. The voice fell, and the situation was recovering here, but obviously this guy came prepared. Boom! The battle above the sky is still going on, and every attack will bring shocking energy ripples, shaking the barren void in this Demon Suppression Prison. This is not the way to go. 10,000 Demon Vine. The Demon King of 10,000 Flowers displayed a Demon Vine with sealing power and dew, but there was no obstruction to the Blood Demon King. On the other hand, the power of the two is now close to dying. Is it the end of the road? Then die. Seeing that the breath of the two in front of him became weaker and weaker, the Blood Demon King snorted coldly, and the violent ape also calmed down, but the scarlet blood flowed along the Blood Demon King. The body is injected into the violent ape. After a while, the body of the blood-colored ape suddenly swelled to an area of 1,000 meters, and the power in its body was like a blood sphere that could explode at any time. Die. After doing all this, the Blood Demon King looked crazy, and patted the two of them with his palms heavily. A wave of depression and death filled their hearts. Damn, I've been locked by him, and I can't move. The Demon King of 10,000 Flowers and the Demon King of 10,000 Flowers shook their heads weakly. Even if you die, you can't take this guy cheap. Come on, let's defend the immortal will of the Master. The two looked at each other, and immediately their bodies began to burn. The originally dying breath contained a terrifying luster like the sun. Demon Emperor. And just as the two were about to burn their lives, a gentle flame enveloped the two of them, suppressing that extreme impulse, and instead a majestic voice above the sky, accompanied by a green sky-high giant, emerged from the two of them. It was a rather soft old man's shadow, but its body covered 1,000 feet. Above the body, a trace of green flames burned violently, and its eyes contained a touch of unparalleled majesty. That's the Demon King. It is a generation of Tianzhao with a lofty status in the demon world and an extremely amazing combat power. Continuing from the previous episode 1922. The latest website, Wang Buzzing. A strange buzzing sound emanated from the green giant, and vaguely, the Blood Demon King couldn't help but feel a sense of adoration. Demon Emperor Tianxiang? How is that possible? At this moment, the Blood Demon King's eyes flashed with a look of extreme shock, and then he saw his tyrannical and violent ape, slowly rushing towards it. Peefed! With a sound, the monster emperor's huge body suddenly and slowly twisted as if it had life. With the help of the green flame on the body, he raised his hands at the same time to shoot at the violent ape. Boom! With a sound, the seemingly tyrannical ape was instantly slapped by the palms wrapped in green flames and vanished. One strike. With just one blow, he instantly disintegrated the strongest blow of his late-stage 8-star fighting immortals. This is the Demon Emperor, the most powerful person in the ancient demon world who could single-handedly stop the White Kings of the extraterritorial evil clan. Even if he is as strong as a Blood Demon King, in front of such a strong man, he can only respectfully call out a Demon King. Strength doesn't mean everything. This sentence is most vividly reflected in the Demon Emperor. Who is it? Who the asterisk is it? After a while, the Blood Demon King's violent eyes shrank tightly, his eyes swayed around, trying to find the ultimate murderer and tear him to pieces. No need to look for it. At this time, a black-shirted man wrapped in amber flames slowly stepped out of the void, smiling slightly at the corner of his mouth. Who are you? Middle stage of the 7 stars fighting immortals? The Blood Demon King said in disbelief. Nothing is impossible, Xiao Yan said calmly. Even today's Xiao Yan can smell the aura that surpasses him from the Blood Demon King in front of him. That is the murderous aura that can only be possessed by a battle-hardened true powerhouse. Xiao Yan? Looking at Xiao Yan's figure in the distance, the Demon King couldn't help roaring violently. It seems that your subordinates also have an amazing guy. The Demon King of 1,000 Flowers nodded lightly. Little chops. It's a good thing for me. Let this king die. Seeing Xiao Yan's disgusting expression, the Blood Demon King roared, his palms suddenly raised, and he slapped violently at Xiao Yan's place. Strong attack. If you continue like this, you may be completely destroyed by this blow. At this moment, the little guinea pig surprisingly did not enter Xiao Yan's body, and stood on Xiao Yan's shoulder in a deep voice. Yeah, but there is no other choice, isn't it? Xiao Yan smiled lightly, and the smile on the corner of his mouth instantly solidified, and the boundless killing intent spread out. Fire explosion. Dragon God's first change, second change, third change. Fighting Soul. Immortal Armor Defense Armor. He used 4 methods in a row, trying to resist the blood-colored giant palm. Bang bang bang. The blood-colored giant palm came slowly towards Xiao Yan with the exclusive power of the late-stage 8-star Do Xian. The monstrous blood-colored storm and countless **Cs caused along the way put Xiao Yan in a real hell. Among them, this level of power is enough to make Xiao Yan feel the breath of death at 0 distance. Bang bang bang. With a sound, the attack came instantly. Xiao Yan only felt that his body was dragged into a unique space, and he was executed and judged. Boom! The deafening voice resounded in his ears. Xiao Yan only felt that the corners of his eyes suddenly became heavy, and he wanted to gently close his eyes to try his best to make himself comfortable. That's it. Is it over? The *** aura around Xiao Yan completely replaced his vindictive energy and flames, as if he would be completely submerged in this blow in the next moment. "Devil, transform," Xiao Yan said softly as if he didn't want to use this energy. At the same time, the demon cube in his body jumped happily like a very excited child, and the cube instantly enlarged. Circles of extremely evil demonic energy ripples, centered on the soul realm, completely vented towards Xiao Yan's body. At the same time, Xiao Yan's deep demon bloodline, which had been suppressed and hidden, erupted uncontrollably like bamboo shoots after a rain. "You've done a great job, little one. Let these shameless people see the power of our Xiao family. Let them echo the fear of being dominated in the ancient times." Just as the demon blood was about to emerge, a loving old voice slowly exploded in Xiao Yan's mind. Although the voice is extremely old, Xiao Yan has no doubts about the supreme power behind this voice. That power is definitely not comparable to reincarnation, and it can even be said unceremoniously, that kind of power seems to have surpassed reincarnation, reaching a brand new state of supremacy. That voice slowly flickered out from Xiao Yan's forehead when Xiao Yan suffered a great change. At the same time, the originally extremely fanatical demon blood and demon cube did not dare to have any disobedience, and quietly crawled. "Be quiet. What's wrong? What kind of power is this?" The scarlet sea of blood rolled around violently, the blood-colored storm and the sound of scarlet blood roared away at Xiao Yan, but when it approached Xiao Yan's body, it suddenly stopped. On Xiao Yan's forehead, there was a gleam of white light, and at the same time, a trace of ancient lines from the past and the present slowly appeared on Xiao Yan's forehead. Under the light of the white halo, it was extremely sacred. Unrivaled. That is, the power of the Xiao family's clan lines? This guy is actually a descendant of Xiao Yan. Xiao clan Xiao Yan. No wonder. At this moment, the Demon King of 10,000 Flowers and the Demon King of 10,000 Flowers spoke in shock at the same time. Impossible. The Xiao family has not been completely destroyed. How can there be descendants? How is it possible to have the most orthodox bloodline of the Xiao family? How is it possible to have the power of clan marks? At this moment, the original arrogance of the Blood Demon King disappeared completely, and thick clouds of blood wrapped around his body, and he did not care about the 10,000 Demon Kings. The speed skyrocketed, and it flew towards the edge of the town demon prison. "Those who disobey the Xiao clan deserve to be killed." An old voice, like a loving old man, emanated from Xiao Yan's forehead, and an extremely terrifying wave suddenly swept out. "Hey!" After the breath, Xiao Yan's slightly closed eyes and eyebrows, a trace of white energy, gently swept out. After a while, like a world-annihilating beam, shaking violently, it instantly turned into a very gentle white. The arc of light whizzed away towards the Blood Demon King's escape route. "Oh! Impossible!" At this moment, the Blood Demon King's pupils shrank violently, and his body instantly solidified. At this moment, he was easily pierced by this white light arc. Bang bang bang! After the white arc of light pierced through the Blood Demon King, it exploded directly, not giving the Blood Demon King any chance to react. In the blink of an eye, the Blood Demon King at the late stage of the 8-star fighting immortals was wiped out by the power of Xiao Yan's clan pattern. At this time, Xiao Yan seemed to have entered some kind of special meditation, and he didn't know what happened, but he could clearly feel that the crisis outside had been lifted, and even when the power of the clan lines burst out, the blood of the Xiao clan in his body completely boiled up. At this time, a white light arc stood silently between Xiao Yan's eyebrows, and the light arc completely filled the eyebrows above Xiao Yan's eyes. That arc of light outlines countless white lines, like the meticulous carving of a god's residence, pushing Xiao Yan's breath to a real peak, and it seems to have been standing upright, slowly closing, and even disappearing. It's just that the old voice that just emerged from this clan's pattern is unshakable like a god's mansion that surpasses the great world. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1923. The latest website, Wang Om. At this moment, the sky and the earth changed color, and countless dark and evil auras fled quickly. They were afraid. They were afraid of the supreme aura that just emerged from Xiao Yan. This guy is really hidden. Seeing Xiao Yan's sluggish appearance, the 10,000 Demon Kings smiled comfortably, and raised an aura of respect for Xiao Yan from the bottom of his heart. This guy is actually one of the only remaining descendants of the Xiao clan, but he doesn't know why he came to our demon world. The Demon King of Thousand Flowers also revealed a rather indifferent smile. Now that the crisis has been resolved, naturally there is no need to worry about it. But all of this was obviously unexpected. The Xiao family has a very deep relationship with Lord Monster Emperor. I'm afraid this guy is here for Lord Monster Emperor. After all, Lord Heisha Longling has secretly left the monster world once before. Based on my guess, I'm afraid it has something to do with this guy. Wan Yaowing smiled. You mean, the Wanhua Demon King heard the words and suddenly said, let's talk about it later. You go to the Earth Rhinoceros Demon King. I will guard him, so that these invisible ghosts will not make trouble. The 10,000 Demon King laughed. Okay. The two hit it off and immediately split up. Skyrim, Xiao Yan was still in that special situation of entering into a state, and he didn't know what he was doing. Hoo-hoo. After about 10 minutes, Xiao Yan's body suddenly moved, gasping for breath, his pupils filled with an unbelievable look. Master Wan Yaowing? Xiao Yan glanced at him and muttered. You kid, you really hide it. Seeing Xiao Yan wake up, the Demon King hurriedly approached him and smiled. What happened just now? Xiao Yan asked while looking at the figure of the Blood Demon King disappearing in front of him, scratching his head. It seems that when I was just about to perform demonization, there was an extremely ancient voice in my body. The source of the sound seemed to be in my own clan lines, but what happened after that, I can't remember clearly. Don't you remember? Wan Yaowing seemed to have noticed something and asked Wei Wei. I don't remember. What about the Blood Demon King? Xiao Yan asked in confusion. You're a human being in the human world, right? The 10,000 Demon King ignored Xiao Yan's question and asked himself. Xiao Yan nodded lightly. When you entered the demon world, did you see Lord Heisha Longling? Yes, but at that time, he only had the initial strength of 8-star Do Xian. The Master is the commander-in-chief of the demon world. He secretly left the demon world alone. In addition, he must separate a trace of his origin to shock the other two powerhouses, so his strength is naturally weak, but the Master's strength is a genuine 8-star Dushan perfection. There are very few people who know this. Then let me make a bold guess. You came to the demon world to help the Black Dragon Wolf, or the Demon Emperor. The two talked intermittently. Being asked this, Xiao Yan suddenly raised his head and looked at the Wan Yao King vigilantly. Don't get me wrong, I have no other intentions. Wan Yaowing hurriedly explained. Not to mention, the fact that Guang Xiaoyan and Lord Heisha Longling are close friends and friends is enough to be on an equal footing with him, not to mention that Xiao Yan is still a descendant of Xiao Yan. With the blessing of multiple identities, he directly dumps himself a few. Street. Yes. At the beginning, I promised Heishan Longling to come to the demon world to see if he could lift the seal of the Demon Emperor. He agreed that he would come to meet me. Later, when I entered the demon world, no one responded, so I came to the edge of the 10,000 Demon Kingdom. Such things happened. Xiao Yan couldn't help but said with black lines all over his head. My subordinate, meet Sir Xiao Yan. At this moment, the Wan Yaowing bowed heavily to the void, and performed the highest etiquette for Xiao Yan that belonged to the demon world. Sir, this is, Boy He Di He Neng, please get up quickly. Xiao Yan hurried over to help him. Hey, it's worth it. The Demon King pretended to be mysterious. The two were quiet for a while, each recovering the Dookie and demonic energy in their bodies, and then the other two Demon Kings arrived slowly. Sir, the Earth Rhinoceros Demon King said respectfully to Xiao Yan, and it was obvious that the 10,000 Flower Demon King had a lot of good things about Xiao Yan along the way. What? At this moment, Xiao Yan was completely stunned. These three guys are the top leaders in the demon world. What the asterisk is going on? Okay, don't waste time. This is the inside of the demon suppression prison and it is not suitable to stay for a long time. Let's leave as soon as possible. The Demon King urged. After all, if the two White Kings broke out, they would not be able to resist. I'm afraid it's too late. These two leaders of the guards have suffered severe wounds, and they must be expelled as soon as possible, otherwise. At this time, Xiao Yan frowned, grasping the veins of the two faint and charming hands, and said solemnly. That feeling seems to be that these two guys were seriously injured first and then poisoned, which can be described as extremely tragic. Sir, do you have a solution? Listening to Xiao Yan's voice, the Demon King of 10,000 Demons laughed. Now that the crisis is over, it is imperative to rescue the two guard leaders. Once they wake up, they will be able to know the location of Lord Heisha Longling, and at that time, everything will be easy. I have holy flame. I can try it. After thinking about it, Xiao Yan had no other choice, so he could only pretend to be tough. Now that the war is raging in the outside world, even if you leave the demon suppression prison, the situation will not be much better. It is better to fight to see if you can save the two. Okay, everything is up to Sir Xiao Yan. After the three of them finished speaking, they each stood on guard for Xiao Yan. I have no choice but to use the stupidest method. The two adults endure it. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, the source of the holy flame of amber rock soul fire emerged, and then gently moved towards his body. CC. Even if they were unconscious, the piercing pain still caused them to make a sound like an instinctive growl, and the holy flames entered the body and burned the bones to slowly force out the venom. This is the only way now. The two leaders of the guards in the late stage of the 8-star fighting immortals can beat these two people so miserably. I am afraid that their minimum strength is the 8-star fighting immortals complete, even reincarnation. While expelling, Xiao Yan was also slightly surprised. Black, Dragon Wolf, Lord, Water and Fire Evil Cage, Deep, Heaven, Feather. The last drop of toxin was forced out, and one of the leaders spoke with a firm will, and immediately passed into a coma. The toxins are eliminated, and they are seriously injured. I am afraid that they will need a lot of coma time to recuperate, but it is not a big problem. And as the intermittent voice fell, the eyes of the four people also became deep invariably. What I didn't want to face, it still happened after all. In the depths of the demon prison town, where there are two White King-level aliens, their power is unquestionably tyrannical, and this is their home court. After countless years of seals, whether their power is increasing, everything is unknown. Boy, are you all right? Continuing from the previous episode 1924. Latest URL. What? Master Heisha Longling, are you really in the depths of this demon suppression prison? The next moment, the voice of the leader of the guards who was in a coma after speaking intermittently disappeared, wrapping the 10,000 Demon King inside. The three Demon Kings were silent for a few minutes, and then a rare heaviness flashed in their eyes. Water, Fire and Evil Cage Town Demon Prison is ranked 8th, and two of them have the terrifying strength of the White King, not to mention other evil beings. With the strength of the four of them today, I am afraid there is no way to do it. If they insist on going, I am afraid there will be no death. Pregnancy. But if this great opportunity is left unattended, once the black evil dragon wolf is killed, it will not only be implicated in the many demon kingdoms behind them, but also in the sealed land of the demon emperor. Earth-shaking changes took place. It seems that in the depths of this town devil's prison, we have to go. After blinking, Xiao Yan also nodded his head, and then said in a deep voice, he knew the seriousness of the matter, and the purpose of this trip to the demon world was for this. No may be hesitant. Earth Rhinoceros Demon King, 10,000 Flower Demon King, you two take them back. Our scattered army also needs someone to take charge of the overall situation. But remember, our current strength is not proportional to the other two powerhouses. Everything must be based on stability. Waiting for us to save Lord Heisha Longling, we will immediately go to the mysterious place to try to rescue the master, so you must insist at that time. Otherwise, once we lose this battle, the loss of power will be too severe, and I am afraid that in the future, it will become a second-rate force similar to the 7 Demon Kings. I'll go with Brother Xiao Yan to the depths of the demon suppression prison to see. After some contemplation, the Wan Yaowing said in a melancholy tone, and the meaning of Tuo Ji Yu, who looked at death as if at home in his voice, was clear at a glance. Okay. The two of them looked at each other, carrying 2 unconscious guard leaders, and then slowly left the demon suppression prison. They knew that this time, whether it was themselves or Xiao Yan this time, the mission of the sacred is extremely dignified. I'm afraid they will be there. After a short pause, Xiao Yan's deep eyes flashed with a divine flame, and he looked at the endless dark void. Hey! In the vast and boundless demon suppression prison, it is like a land eroded by the evil power of demons. Trembling, a rare groan resounded. CC. Xiao Yan's palm lightly grabbed some black light beams, and the palm of his hand suddenly retracted like an electric shock. This level of power, I'm afraid it must be king level. Seeing Xiao Yan being so touched, the 10,000 Demon King said coldly. It seems that in addition to the demon world, there are other auras here. It's a little familiar. It seems to be the smell of the Soul Palace. Xiao Yan's palm is not serious, but the black beam just now clearly hangs down from the sky, and there is not only a sinister evil power in it, but even a touch of soul. The aura of the strong man in the hall also emerged. It's not too late, let's go. The two looked at each other, and then slowly lifted off into the sky, facing the sky. Water and fire evil cage suppressing demon prison. This is a rather peculiar demon suppressing prison. The entire demon suppressing prison is divided into two sides, water and fire. In the center of the two realms, there is a huge dark red prisoner. The cage, the evil energy around the cage is rolling. The water and fire are extremely strange, but at this time, in this ancient cage like a bird cage, some strange figures slowly stand in it. My lord, I arrived at the prison of the two powerful white kings ahead. With our little strength, I am afraid that they will be wiped out in an instant. At this time, the team of dozens of people, led by Xu Xiao, everyone slowed down. Slowly walking in this dark void. In the evil cage, a series of stairs directly connected to the bottom, and on the surrounding walls and stones, a series of sacred Brahma patterns were laid out, vaguely suppressing the surging evil power below. Don't worry, I believe that the two white kings will be very interested in this transaction. Xu Xiao smiled strangely as if he was winning, and after he finished speaking, a strange grimace appeared all over his body, tilting the sacred surrounding the power is isolated, and it is easy to go down. At the same time, around the water and fire evil cage, several figures were also madly chased and killed by a beautiful figure. Dragon Wolf, let's go. Her power has entered the cycle of reincarnation, and it is definitely not something that the two of us can resist. I only want to be with Tianhen in this life. Outside the evil cage, the two figures quickly escaped from the pursuit of the figures behind, and the woman said. At this time, the two of them were scarred and even their breath was extremely sluggish. It was obvious that they had wasted a lot of energy along the way to avoid the pursuit of the devil. But how could the two 8-star fighting immortals escape the pursuit of the reincarnation powerhouse, let alone angels? Mistress, the master has not avenged his great revenge. You can't easily fall, otherwise I will not be able to explain to the master. The man forced a smile and said immediately. It's really tenacious, but that's it. Sacred forbidden. At the moment when the two were muttering, a splendid woman behind him, blessed by his holy armor, had the power of reincarnation and the power of divine interaction, which seemed extremely solemn, and suddenly made a high-pitched sound, and countless pure white lights all over her body. The lines flickered like stars in this demon town prison, and immediately countless ghosts and evil auras fled quickly. Because of the power that this beautiful shadow is now exerting, I am afraid that it must be invincible through reincarnation. The body of a dragon and wolf. Seeing this, the black evil dragon wolf sank, and countless demonic energy within his body rose into the sky. In an instant, an energy beast shadow over 1,000 feet stood directly in front of the two of them. That figure, like a dragon's shadow, is covered with countless dragon scales on its huge green body, and its aura is extraordinarily sacred. With the addition of a very conspicuous green dragon horn on its wolf head, that kind of aura turned out to be vaguely touched the reincarnation. It's over. The demon of light betrayed the holy sea. Go back with me to atone for your sins. And you, one of the three major overlords of the demon world, the black evil dragon and wolf, who doesn't know what's good or bad, and helps Zhou to abuse, also come with me to the holy sea to accept the punishment. The high-pitched voice was like the death sentence of the god's residence, accompanied by Qianying's body. There were more and more holy patterns, and the entire town of Demon Prison suddenly swayed. Countless evil ghosts seemed to be provoked by it, forming a ghost that was close to 10,000 feet, and roared at Qianying. Just a bunch of ants and worms. Submerge yourself under the brilliance of God. The loud chants sounded slowly, and the entire sky was filled with a rare silence, and the tens of thousands of demonic shadows condensed with countless monsters were under the faint beam of light that touched Dao. Collapsed in an instant. Let's go! Seeing this, Heishan Longling couldn't stop shaking, and then he politely hugged the demon of light and stepped into the cage of water and fire. In such a situation I am afraid that only by means of the evil cage that imprisoned the two White King powerhouses, there is a chance of life. Wang Om! The extremely holy beam of light cleans and purifies the countless evils in the demon suppression prison, revealing its name as an angel to the fullest. The existence of the two kings of the evil cage of water and fire. Well, let's kill it. Angel Qianying calmed down her attack slowly, looking at the evil cage in front of her with her beautiful eyes through the surrounding water and fire zone. Lightly open your mouth lightly. The four wings behind it swayed gently, and every swing would release a beam of light, which washed away the endless evil aura below. Four-winged angel, the power of reincarnation. And below it, because of the traces left by the attack of the angel's power just chanted, looking around, it is a bottomless abyss. In the abyss, there is no evil atmosphere, some only have a rare light, that is the breath of light, it is the power of the divine, and it is the power of destruction exclusively for angels. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.